That's very quiet. The only thing you could hear is the firing pin dropping on that primer. All right, guys, we're back out here at the makeshift range. This is, for those of you who watched the last video, you'll recognize that I'm wearing the same clothes because it's the same day. But I have my Form 1 suppressor on here. And like I mentioned before, this suppressor, the body is all aluminum. I think it's 70-75 or something like that. The baffles, however, are stainless steel. So I just finished doing that other video and I only put maybe 10 rounds through. And not in very quick succession, but there wasn't much of a cool down period in between, and that thing got pretty hot. So I probably wouldn't go semi-auto, do a whole mag dump or 2 or 3 mag dumps through this. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing on bolt action. And today we've got my Subsonics loaded up. We're gonna start at what Hodgkin says to start it at, their loading data, which is at 3 grains, or 3.5, pardon. We'll start at 3.5, and I've done half grain increments all the way up to 6.5 or 6 grains, and then I do a full grain increment or jump up to 7 grains. And I have 3 of each of those loaded in my 30-round magazine here. So we're just gonna go through it, and I'm not gonna do any downrange for this. It's all just gonna be right here at the ear, and you guys will experience this with me. The idea is I want to get the fastest subsonic bullet I can that's still subsonic. I have a feeling that 3.5 grains of trail boss just isn't gonna make it. So that's why I've done this, and we'll kind of see where that barrier is, or what I can get away with. So let's get started. I'll take out this 10 round magazine, put in my 30. This is partly why I love this Ruger American in 223, is it takes my AR mags, so that's kind of awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. We're starting with my 3.5 grains. No ear protection. I'm not gonna do eyes either. Actually, let's do eyes. Let's get started. That's very quiet. The only thing you could hear is the firing pin dropping on that primer, and then a second later, the bullet hitting the dirt in the back. That did drop probably, I'm shooting at 150 yards at a dirt berm, and that probably dropped 8 feet. So we're gonna keep going with this. Actually, you know what I'll do? Is I'm gonna keep one of these 3.5 grains for after, and I'll put you down range and see if we can get that Hollywood pew sound. But let's do that next 3.5 grain, and we'll just go through it. That one was better. It probably only dropped about 5 feet. Maybe I was just not paying attention before, but that's pretty good. Okay, these next ones are, I think my 4s. Yeah, 4 grains. So I got 3 of these in here, and maybe I'll do the same thing where I take out one of them and keep it for later for downrange. And so you guys can hear it kind of go from 3.5 to 4. But I'll stop talking, I'll keep shooting. See, that one kind of broke Supersonic, I think, there a little bit. It was still, I mean, it's hardly even noticeable. That's like when a Subsonic 2 or 22 breaks Supersonic or the sound barrier. Doesn't even, I'm not even worried about hearing, but the fact that that 4 grain one was going that fast, I still have up to 7, so this video might be cut short. So we'll see. I'll save that 4 grain. And we're going right into 4.5 now. Yeah, definitely supersonic. And it probably only dropped, this thing is zeroed at 200 yards. I'm hitting 150, and it's dropping about 1.5 feet maybe. Still very quiet, much quieter than the supersonic or the regular loads or standard loads, I don't know what we call them, that are going 3,000 plus feet per second. I don't have a chronograph out here, so I have no idea how fast they're going, but that was supersonic for sure. Just for the sake of it, we're just gonna burn through these. I'm not even gonna stop to take any out, and we'll just see. I'll say which one I'm on. So I'm on 5 right now. I'll do 3 5s. Five and a half. On to 6 now. Yeah, it all sounds the same ever since about 4.5. That supersonic boom or crack or whatever you want to call it. It's all sound about the same. Still not as loud as the standard loads. Yeah, that's a 7. That's another 7. I think I have 2 or 3 standard loads in here, so we'll see. Yeah, the difference is pretty obvious. So I'll do 1 more of those, and we'll call it quits. And I'll put you down range, and put that 3.5 grain and 4 grain through there, so you can see or hear the difference there. Okay guys, my camera's on the fritz, but there you have it. Form 1 suppressor. I don't know what you guys got out of it. I don't know how the audio turned out, but I guess we'll find out during editing. Aluminum body, and it is pretty hot. It's cooled down here, I don't know, 5 minutes or so since I've stopped shooting. But it got pretty hot there for a second. Not hot enough where I couldn't touch it, but I only put maybe 30 rounds through, and those were subsonic or, you know, light loads. I think my next video, what I'll do is we'll see if these are keyholing. I have a hunch that they might be, especially those subsonic ones, those 3 grain, 3.5 grains. So we'll put some paper up at 50 yards, 100 yards, maybe 200 yards even, and see if or when these subsonic loads are keyholing and what groups we can get out of them. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.